Another video, another Ducati problem. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tackling another check engine light on the Hypermotard behind me. So let's go take a look right now. So if we switch on the key, we can see that we have a check engine light over here. Now if we go to the menu and check out the error, which is the last one, it only tells us that it's an engine problem, so it's not really that helpful. So as usual, we're connecting our OBD connector to the ECU using the 4-pin plug and back to our laptop using Melcodiag. Now if you need help to connect using Melcodiag, I've done a couple of videos on that already. I will link them in the description or somewhere here on the screen. So while we're here, we're going to the DTC tab and we're gonna press on DTC on, and that's the number of your ECU. And we should be getting our error codes. So in our case, we have P0130 and P0135, which both redirect us to the horizontal cylinder. So that should be right here on the front, the sensor here. Now, fortunately enough for me, I already have a spare part. Don't ask me why. I kind of predicted that it's gonna happen, so I just bought one. This only costed me 14 euro from AliExpress. If you buy it directly from Ducati, it's gonna cost upwards of 100 euro. So take that into consideration. I will put also the part number for this cable in the description of the video, just in case you want to search it for yourself. But I will also put a link for the wire itself, just in case you need to buy exactly the same one as this. So our cable comes with the connector itself, which is a 4-pin. And it also comes pre-greased with anti-seize, so we don't need to add anything ourselves. And lastly, all we need to do is remove our existing faulty cable, trace the wire which goes back on the other side of the bike, and it ends here near the water pump. So this is the connector for the auto sensor. So it's pretty easy to find and disconnect, and we're just gonna replace it with our new one. So I'm gonna start disconnecting the cable first thing. So just simply popping off the connector. So next up, we're gonna grab a 40mm spanner and we're just gonna undo the auto sensor on the front. So now that we've removed the old auto sensor, we can investigate it a bit. So it took me a lot of effort to actually remove because it was quite rusted. And I nearly rounded it off also. So I was pretty lucky with that. So let's compare it to the newer cable. So the threads and the sensor look exactly the same. So we shouldn't be having any issues with that. But what I'm noticing is that the newer sensor is twice as long, the cable. So we're gonna probably have to route it a bit differently to take off the slack from the longer cable. But other than that, the connectors also look exactly the same. So we shouldn't be having any connection issues. So we're gonna start installing the new Lambda sensor. So this one comes pre-greased with anti-seize, so we don't need to do anything. So let's just install it directly. Now this should be torqued down to 18 Newton meters. However, since I can't fit a socket on it, I'm not able to do that. So I'm just gonna tighten it by hand. And now we're gonna try and route the cable and remove all this slack from the extra length. Okay, so what I did now is routed the new longer cable. So I went from this side using this bracket where there's the oil pressure switch. So I paused it from there to make sure that the cable doesn't hit the exhaust and get burned off. Then we went up here with all the other cables, so it blends in. We kept on going up here with all these other cables, as I said, and it doesn't really show that much. And then finally we connected the connector in the same original position as it was down here near the water pump. So this is it with the purple connector. And if we take a look from further out, you can't see any of the extra cable that we had from the sensor because it is now well hidden with the rest of the cables. Now that we have everything fully assembled, one last thing is to start up the bike again and see if the check engine light is gone. And yes, it is gone. So let us start the bike now. So now that we know that the new sensor works, we're gonna go back onto our laptop. And now we're gonna clear off all the errors that we have on the ECU. So we're gonna go on the same tab, DTC. We're just gonna click on erase on the ECU number. And there we have the new message, which says all errors were deleted. So now the ECU is clean again and we don't have any errors, just in case new one pops up. So that is our O2 sensor replaced. This job shouldn't take long, like 5 to 10 minutes. It's quite easy and it's quite accessible. We don't need to do any prerequisites or remove anything else to remove the sensor. So yeah, it's quite easy. Now, my case, the issue started after I changed the starter. So I'm not sure if I hit the wire or maybe I damaged it in some way when reassembling back the engine. But thankfully, I had a spare part already, so I didn't have to wait for any shipping. And we were able to solve the problem immediately. Now, this process applies to many Ducatis and actually many other brands and bikes, so it should be straightforward. I hope you guys learned how to replace your auto sensor with this video, and I will see you in the next one.